Welcome everybody to another episode of The Constitutionalist. We are your host, Charlie556.
And I'm Ammo Dog.
And before we start this shindig, as always, we want to let you all know that we are on YouTube. You can check us out at Constitutionalist71. And by all means, please email us at theconstitutionalist71@gmail.com. Tell us how much you love us and can't live without us. We'd appreciate it very much.
And also our podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts at. So,
absolutely. So, lots of craziness still going on out there.
Let's hear it.
One thing that just really irks the hell out of me, and I know we've all been seeing it on the news, this whole, these kids screaming about genocide by the hands of the Israelis on the poor people in Gaza, and it's getting to a point now where I don't know, I almost want to just cruise around college campuses and I don't know, just slapping fools left and right. Like this is ridiculous, kids. I mean, you're doing a walkout. Well, let's all walk out. Let's show that school a thing or two. You know, it's your damn money. It's your damn education. They're still getting the money. You're not doing a damn thing besides creating a time later on in your life when you look back on it and go, oh, geez. It was bell bottoms. It was goofy hair. It was for you,
right.
For this generation. It's going to be acting like a bunch of morons.
Yeah, and standing against humanity.
Yeah, and the thing, and again, and I know they're kids. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. What's really going on in the world,
right?
And that'll change. But if they were paying half a bit of attention, they would have followed the news completely and realized that, number one, warnings were sent out for the innocent, and I'm putting finger quotes in the air here, the innocents to get the hell out of Dodge before the bombings happened,
right? Before
the invasion took
place.
do
the same thing.
That's what I was going to get at. They do it much, like we do.
Right.
They send out leaflets. They will literally have a type of munition that explodes in midair.
Leaflet bomb.
Yeah, leaflet bomb.
Excuse me.
Sending thousands and thousands of leaflets all over the place. I mean, there's no way that you're seeing it unless, you're blind, and then someone next to you can tell you what it says. So
yeah.
The other part of that, it is, again, war is an ugly-ass baby. It's the way it is. It is not Israel's fault, responsibility that Hamas is saying, no, stay where you are, in your homes, in your apartments or whatever, or we will shoot you.
Right.
Now, on that same token, I've seen video footage of a lot of people that have been fleeing and heading to where the IDF has instructed these people to go to.
Right.
So, anyway, it's nuts out there.
Well,
I think it was in L.A., arguments turned into violence.
That was Gal's. Was it L.A.? Is that what you're talking about? Gal Gadot, the actress, the Israeli actress? Or
no. I was talking about the poor man that lost his life.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I think he was hit by a bullhorn. A megaphone.
Yep.
I mean, it's just getting nuts,
Right, and then the media reporting it differently.
Oh yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous, man. It's this again. I don't know where this raging Jew hatred sprouted from, and it's not like, it's not like the Jews invaded Gaza on a sunny day for no reason,
on a whim,
and unleashed hell, and innocent people were dying left and right. This is a direct response on an attack that they received, and we all know this. But then you got these guys running around tearing off posters. And some of them are like elected officials. They already had one lady, I don't recall where the hell she was or who she was, but it's all over YouTube and TikTok. You can see it. It's in the middle of the night. She's walking around ripping down posters of missing children, and she gets confronted by someone and filming. That woman doesn't say a word. She just kind of puts her head down and walks away real quick.
Yeah.
Turns out she's some elected official in that city, and she had to resign over that.
Yeah. And there was another one caught on footage of pulling down these posters and then walks across the street or whatever to the little coffee shop to enjoy her bagel.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Wow.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's
bagel and matzo.
And like you said, let alone the fact that, like I said, it's war. The innocents are going to suffer along with the rest. It's just the way it is. But you've got grandmothers that are sitting there saying that, whatever, I've got 17 grandkids and I would sacrifice every one of them to martyrdom. These are the people that voted Hamas in.
Right.
So when sleepy dumbass Joe Biden is, Hamas doesn't represent the people of Palestine. Yes, the hell he does. They do. They voted them in.
Right.
Just like my representatives would represent. Hello.
Yep.
So but what do you got that going on? You got a moron in the fun house.
Yep.
That's supplying the money for the munitions of this. Let alone the fact I think our last podcast was about 20 something attacks against U.S. forces.
Oh, it's way more now.
Now it's like last I looked, it was over 40, knocking on 50.
Yep. And then he did another dumbass response.
Oh yeah, we blew up.
And as soon as they got done, they attacked again.
Yeah.
So they don't care.
No,
and he's picking these soft targets. He says, "Oh, they're munitions dumps. Look, these guys they're terrorists. They have weapons caches all over the damn place. A lot of them are probably in something similar to those underground tunnels that they use to get into Jerusalem in the first place.
Exactly.
So yeah, they probably have a building set up to make Sleepy Joe think that those are munitions in there. But obviously, this is like the third munitions compound that they've attacked, and still they keep. At what point does it sink in that maybe there ain't shit in there?
Right. Or maybe they know that the whole time, and it's just
all for show.
Yeah, exactly. A type of lip service for.
Well, I wanted to say, getting back to those schools with ridiculous college kids hating Jews, and doing their thing. These are Ivy League schools, right?
A lot of them, yeah.
Right. Now, I saw, and I don't know which Ivy League it was, but I saw a report that came out and said that a handful of these mega $1 million donors were retracting their donations. They weren't donating anymore because of the actions. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you are a dean or if you are some high-level administrative person over that university, that you're going to have some control over those kids and kind of do an arm lock to force them to act accordingly for fear of losing all of this funding.
Right.
But it doesn't seem they still, oh God, even if we are dead broke as an Ivy League university that's been here for 150 years, we can't infringe on the beliefs of our students,
Oh yeah.
It's come on, man. It's beyond. It's getting to where, and I know in the beginning, I just like you said that, hey, you got to kind of understand that these are kids, these are young people. But the thing is to me, that stuff is going out the window now, because these kids on the campus doing it, that's just a drop in the bucket to the countrywide, worldwide hatred that is coming about. And you can't help but look at it and almost laugh a little bit for the idiots in this country.
Yeah.
Because you always hear they are the tolerant left.
Right.
You know what I mean? They are the, don't...
All those coexist stickers on the back of cars.
You can't... You can't say anything about a trans person. You got trans rights. Yep. You can't say anything about a gay person. There's gay rights. Islamophobia? How dare you? Mm-hmm. And they can come out like this against Jews in droves. And you have Stars of David painted on the doors of Jewish people where they reside, their homes, their apartments, their places of business.
Yeah.
What the hell does that remind you of?
1939 in Poland and
goddamn right.
Germany.
And that's what I mean. This is beyond the fact that the left is not talking about this as as the fact that they are not as exasperated as you and I are and I know many of you out there, is beyond me. And that should be a sign of what these people represent, what they're going to bring into the country. The more you keep voting for these loons, it should be a freaking warning, a seismographic freaking scribble that should make you run the other way.
Which it may indeed, because
I hope so,
you're seeing the F Joe Bidens and all this stuff coming from that same left now. They're starting to look to some of these other candidates that are coming out now that are I don't know, I guess even some independent. There's another Democrat candidate that came out. They're coming out of the woodworks now because they can see the softness, they can see the weakness in the Biden administration.
And you know what? There are. And look, I don't think that Frankenstein up there, Fetterman, Strokes McGee.
Right.
I don't think.
Senator.
Right. Fetterman, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I don't think anything of that lurch looking. I can't stand him.
Right.
But
He's a joke. He's an absolute
he is a joke. But I will give him credit where credit's due. And he was pissing off those liberals that were screaming at him. He probably didn't understand what the hell they were saying anyway. But and he was walking around with the Israeli flag. And dude, he was getting, they were screaming at the top of their lungs, pointing at him, saying, you support genocide, they were shouting, shame, shame. And he stopped and looked at him and grinned that crazy smile of his, and waved his little flag and kept walking in the building. And they were so angry.
Right.
And it was a complete liberal meltdown, and I quite enjoyed it.
That's what, but see, and you're right. I agree with that too. Good for him for standing up for that. I think that I think they've begun to realize that and I mean the liberal left politicians, they've kind of painted themselves in a corner now, and they're in a place where they're like, shit, what do we do? Right. So on one hand, we've got not only Muslim votes at risk, and I'm not talking about let alone the dumbass kids that are young and don't know any better, and once they actually grow up and have their own money and realize how much Biden and the rest of those cronies are taking from them, they go, shit, maybe I should be conservative now.
Yeah, right.
So they're pissing off like a third of their base, and they don't know which one to hold on to. No matter they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. And now that part of it, yes, I'm loving it, looking like Mr. Burns in the corner with my fingers twiddling, going excellent. On the other hand, though, it's a horrible shame for the innocent people that are here, Jews. They're talking about Jewish people that are buying guns now. That
I saw that
of it before to protect themselves. Great.
That.
You should do that. Like I always say, buy some guns and ammo, kids. Learn how to shoot. Yep. Enjoy your Second Amendment, regardless if there's morons out there waving a flag that they don't even understand.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just I feel a little better now. I got that off my chest.
I don't know. Maybe there can be, like you're saying, you've got some people on the left that feel that they've painted themselves in the corner, right?
Yeah.
There is an instance where everybody keeps saying they're looking for unity. They're looking for something to have common ground about.
Right.
I don't understand why they're not screaming at the top of their lungs that this is it.
Yeah.
Because most of your level-headed Democrats, and there are some out there,
right?
They don't agree with this support for Hamas.
No.
That right there is a common ground, and it may not be much, and it might be the only damn thing, but I think you should celebrate something.
Yeah.
And that can be some common ground between conservatives and Democrats, leftists, whatever you want to call it, to have a little bit of common ground in this whole shindig. Right. So I don't know. Maybe they can capitalize off that. Maybe it can be the start of a beautiful friendship, but I doubt it.
Even you've got 23 Democrats in the House that sided with Republicans to censure Rashida Tlaib finally for her
absolutely
ridiculous from the river to the
MGT at it again.
Yeah.
Our girl.
And it's just I don't know. Again, it makes, that's another thing that kind of makes me laugh, because depending upon which amendment it is in the Constitution, is whether they're willing to bleed for it or not.
Right.
Oh, it's the free speech. And again, it's not like she's going to jail. She's not in a court
Oh,
of
yeah.
law.
It
I
is
think the
literally
worst-
a slap on her.
Yeah. We wholeheartedly
yeah.
disapprove with your comments.
Yeah.
Now, I think it does mean, if I'm not mistaken, that it was supposed, like even in the case of Adam Schiff, he lost his committee, his seats on the different committees he
I
was
bet
on.
that made
So
him
I
have
think-
big eyes.
Oh, I know. His neck got a little longer. Huh? But
Oh, no. Yeah.
so, yeah. And again, I think that was the right call. I mean, and you're right. And she absolutely has the right to say what she does, but that does not mean that it does not come with consequences.
That's right.
sometimes. I mean, if I'm at a job and I walk up and I'm like, you know what? The Monday morning meeting, point at the boss and say, great company, but that guy's a moron, and I don't like the way this company's headed.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be on some radars
Oh, yeah.
for a while.
Exactly.
I mean, they
Or
might.
if you throw out some racial stuff, and
Yeah.
you have free speech, and you're allowed to say it, but you may not like the avalanche that comes afterwards.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So it doesn't mean you're getting tossed in a gulag, but
So it's kind of cool that you brought up.
well, thank you.
It's kind of cool that you brought up this workplace scenario.
Okay.
Because
Tell us why.
I think I will. It turns out that the Biden administration rolls out this gender pronoun policy, and what that does for federal employees is it requires them to address fellow employees by their preferred pronouns. It allows them to wear their preferred clothing and to use the facilities, whether that be restrooms or locker rooms, based on their preferred gender. So men can now use restrooms and locker rooms intended for actual women, and these women cannot complain or yell at them to get the hell out, or they could face firing.
Wow.
What's funny about this is it's already in itself a violation of civil rights under the hostile work environment, of CFR 49. They've already got that in there that says part of hostile work environment, which is a very broad category, right?
Oh, yeah.
But part of that is aggression between two employees. It can be sexual harassment,
Right.
right? And I think a guy exposing himself to a woman falls under that. So this in itself is the dumbest shit alive, right? Ray Charles can see it,
Yep.
right? But what makes it even more stupider, if that's even possible, is the fact that they create this that I just said. They create this law while still leaving the other law in the books of what is defined under hostile work environment. Mm-hmm. So they immediately contradict themselves.
Right.
It's
liberal logic.
Yeah, I mean, look, the libs, they love Biden. They applaud nearly everything he does, unless it's not hating Jews. So, I don't know. It makes me think, like I saw this report. I'm trying to think who the actress is. It was Sharon Stone. So, she was talking about something that happened to her at some point in her career, and she gets invited for either an audition or discuss a role. As soon as the door closes, executive whips his junk out, right? So she, in her words, says she was hysterical. She got emotional talking about it.
Right.
And everybody, in the room with, oh God, poor Sharon. And look, that is horrendous. But what I'm saying is, the libs, they love Biden. They applaud everything he does, right?
Yep.
So why are there so many female Hollywood actresses complaining about male producers and executives exposing themselves to them?
Yep.
So in other words, it's only allowed if it's in your workplace.
Yeah.
But if it's in Sharon Stone's workplace, then she's hysterical and running the other way.
Right.
Because no matter what, look, I don't care if the dude had a dress on. I don't care if the dude had a suit and tie on. His junk is his junk. dangling out in front of your face.
Right.
Right? So why is that okay in your workplace if you're a female? And you just you're intolerant if you don't like it.
Well, it fits the current narrative, and that's what we
exactly.
do. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. It's more of the same hypocrisy that you hear all the time.
It's just, when you said that, it reminded me of how, the winds of change, and that's what the Democratic Party does. So,
yeah.
When I was younger, I remember, you remember Al Gore's wife, Tipper Gore, and she was going after all of the musicians. Going after all the musicians. You had everyone from Hillary to Bill Clinton to Barack Obama, and they all said marriage is between a man and a woman until they realized we got some votes here, kids.
That's right.
So then all of a sudden that changed.
Yeah.
And the transsexual thing, same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some votes here, kids.
That's right.
It just depends on what the hell's going on.
The wind blows. That's where they go.
Exactly.
They're all windsocks.
Yeah.
I said it before.
So right now, all the David Axelrods of the country are trying to figure out how the hell do we dig ourselves out of this hole and get those Palestine-loving kids on our side again.
Right.
So yeah, wait for it. It'll happen before election. There'll be some new ride on the new roller coaster to go on.
Well, it'll be interesting. Like you said, they blatantly switch sides.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see if they don't circle the wagons, bring in the Frankenstein Fettermans, right?
Right.
Reel them back in and say, look, get out there and say that you hate Jews and you love Hamas unless we don't want to be in power.
Right.
So then watch and see if they don't change their tune.
Yeah.
Well, and it'll be something stupid like, this war's been going on a long time and the Jews have suffered way less losses at this point than what Hamas has. Or, Palestine has.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to have to change my position and say that ceasefire needs a... Watch, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
They can't even condemn Hamas.
Right. No,
people
they can't.
On the street.
No.
None of them.
Well, the people on the street, it's not like, we better be quiet and not condemn Hamas. They love Hamas. Okay. That's what the fist waving in the air is about.
Meanwhile, all the leaders of Hamas are just having a blast
God,
in Qatar right now.
Oh, yeah. Living it up.
Yeah, enjoying their
workouts.
There. Yeah, yep. Workouts, and they're, I think, thousands of dollars a night hotel rooms.
Oh, yeah.
They're all, some of them are multi-billionaires.
Of course they are.
Meanwhile, their people just live in absolute shitsville.
That's right.
And just compare it to every other backwards ass nation out there, North Korea.
Yep.
With his fine cognac, that Kim Jong.
Oh yeah, the fat baby.
Yeah. So it's nothing. It's same old story, different place.
Yes, it is. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's again blatant. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this too, real quick, on the whole.
No, I'm just kidding.
So the new, I'm assuming this is an executive order by Joe for the what is it? So you have to call them by the pronouns.
Oh yeah. In the workplace,
employee. So federal employee, does that mean military as well?
It's going to have to mean military. So kind of like the jab.
So if there's some guy in a dress that wants to wear
they're already
female,
doing it.
And let's just say it's a major, and he wants to be addressed as Major S. If that's his pronoun as his rank, and he wants to be.
I think the rank is unchangeable. But what you would have to do is if you had
yes, ma'am.
If you had yes, Major ma'am. Williams or Major John Williams, it would be the next day maybe Joanna Williams, and that's what you have to
Well, that would
refer.
be the name, but you see what I mean, though?
I do. Where does it stop?
Stop.
Well, I'll tell you this. I retired in 2014, and things were, semi-normal. I had seen a lot of change in 22 years. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe it's one of those things when you get a little older and you're like, back in my day, you know what I mean? But everybody recognizes change, and you see how things were, and everybody has back in the good old days syndrome at some point in their lives.
Sure.
But I retired, again, saw a lot of change, and I remember thinking, it's a good time to get out because there's things in the wind, and I'm done, So I'm working on base still at the commissary, right? I think we discussed what the commissary is to all you guys out there. It's a big grocery store for the military. And I was working on the floor, and we started doing these kind of like Walmart and everything does, where you can order your groceries online.
Yeah.
And then we set up a couple of parking lots. They're trying to stick with the times.
Yeah, scary
DECA,
COVID.
yeah, the commissary. So you got to designate parking areas. We go do the shopping, and then you go bring it out to them. Well, there was a guy, and he was, oddly enough, a major. And I would see him, got to know him, really good guy, talked to him all the time, and he'd always order like very little stuff. It was just a handful of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so it got to where I was like, hey, Major, whatever your name is, and hey, buddy. And we'd be sitting there talking.
Right.
Well, then one day I get a call like, hey, this person is here. I was like, gosh, it's the Major, I was like, I'll bring it out to him. So I go out there, and I know this is the one time where he didn't get out of his car. He just kind of had the hatch. He had an automatic open back hatch, like a SUV. And it opens, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And then I just see a head nod, I'm like, that's weird. And then I caught a view of the rear view mirror where he was looking back at me. And that's when I realized I was in love. No, I'm just kidding. I was just joking. That's when I realized that there was long hair, right? Black hair that was about shoulder length.
Mm-hmm.
Eyeliner, makeup, lipstick, and I was like, well, then finally he did get out, and it was him. It was that Major dressed as a woman.
That's a man, baby.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I didn't know what to say.
In civilian clothing?
No, he was in uniform. That's the thing. He was in absolute uniform. So I had bells and whistles going off, dude. I was like, man, what is this allowed? But at the same time, I'm like, well, it's not my problem. I'm a commissary guy, but I can't help it. I've spent 22 years of my life in this outfit.
Well, yeah.
So I got back in.
Did he talk? Did he speak to you?
Spoke normal. It's kind of like Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay.
Looks like a woman until it talks.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I could not wait to get out of there, and I go back in, and I went to my boss. I'm like, all right, what the hell's going on? And he was laughing, going, look, we're not privy to what military decisions do from the Pentagon down. However, we do get briefings when it affects us.
Right.
So as a preparatory note, we get basically courtesy copied on some of the new rules and regulations that come out, and that was one of them.
Things you might encounter.
Yeah, exactly.
I brought out the Franken beans, but I see they're already here. Anyway.
Oh my God, man.
Oh jeez.
What are you gonna do, man? This is something that's kind of been ongoing. So it was just when I see this story today, and I think back to when Mr. Ma'am in the car, I'm like, well, it's only a matter of time before this policy comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took that long.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly.
Exactly.
Was Trump still in when that happened? Was that already?
No,
so this was Biden era.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was COVID. In the middle of COVID.
Okay, that's right. That's right. It would have been. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Well,
it's just crazy.
It is.
I don't know what. And like I said, you can.
You think about the people that they're, these World War II, Vietnam vets, Korean,
that are walking up,
that are looking at this. Yeah, maybe they're in the commissaries or the BX or PX, and they're shopping, and good Lord.
Unless some of them are like, finally. No, I don't know. I don't throw out my personal beliefs when it comes to religion or anything like that. But I will say, I mean, I'll just throw it out there that I consider myself a Christian guy, you know? And I just think about, and I'll just say this real quick, you know, I'm not trying to offend anybody out there, you know, but it's you should keep your eyes to the sky, in my opinion, because when you start getting to the point of what's wrong is right and what's right is wrong,
right,
and then you start seeing things taking place in locations that they are taking place at, then you might want to dust off the good word, if that's what you believe in,
right,
and start recognizing some signs of the times, and that's all I'll say about it.
Oh, I'm with you there. I mean, because I look at even what's going on in Israel right now. Again,
well, that's what I'm talking
sorry if
about.
I offend anybody, but this is me, and I really don't give a damn. But
yeah, it's our show.
It's
I take back worrying about offending you. I'm just kidding.
But it's just how I look at this. This is all biblical anyway. It's already been written. Israel will whoop that ass.
Yeah.
Whether we help or not, they can do it by themselves, and they will. It's God's chosen people. That's just the way it is.
It is.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know. That's nothing that I want to harp on, but
yeah.
And mainly because I'll probably make myself look stupid because I don't.
And if nothing else, hopefully once this is over and Hamas has been absolutely annihilated, the people of Palestine come back together and actually vote real politicians. Actually vote some people in that will actually do some good out there. How many miles of beachfront do they have on the Mediterranean? It could be a
resort.
an absolute tourism trap. I mean, the millions and millions of dollars.
Well, the gemstones tried it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, but they, I don't have my hopes up. I'm not.
I don't either. Look, you're thinking logically.
It's a 7th century mentality.
And those folks there have been slaughtering one another since the first dawn, came, and
especially since the spread of Islam went through.
Well, that's the thing, and I was going to say Islam has been I don't know, it's been the scourge of the planet to me. Yeah. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. The Jews and anybody who is Islamic, they're never going to get along. It's oil and water.
Oh yeah, always going to be that way.
The closest you came was when Trump did the Abraham Accords.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's the closest that we'll ever get.
Well, yeah,
and Biden happily tore that all apart.
Of course, Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we can get some folks in there.
Go ahead.
Once the Ancient One, Nosferatu's back in his sarcophagus and gets the hell out of there, then maybe we can get someone in there like Trump.
Speaking of getting someone in there, we had ourselves a little debate the other night, didn't we?
Who, me and you?
No, on TV.
Oh yeah, I was like, when? No, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
What a what a
dude!
show.
The knives are out. The knives were out.
That was something.
Yeah, man. So, and it's funny because these guys are fighting for scraps, right, on the debate room floor.
All right.
And dude, it is literally like hungry hounds.
Oh yeah.
And while they're slaughtering one another and talking crap about one another's children and policy,
and who can clog the best with those heels on.
And their weapons, they're not fashion, they're weapons, Haley said. And whatever that means, I don't know. And then, Haley calling Ramaswamy scum, right there in the microphone.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, while they're just annihilating one another, Trump leads by like leaps and bounds,
Oh yeah.
He's beaten Biden in 5 out of the 6 key battleground states. Listen at this. 20% of the black vote right now is for Trump.
Yeah.
42% of the Hispanic vote.
And that, you know what? I would venture to say those numbers are probably on the low side.
They're
safely.
probably.
Yeah.
But check this out. In 2020, when Trump was before he won the second time.
Right.
He had 8% of the black vote and 36% of the Hispanic vote
Right.
in 2020. No Republican has taken more than 12% of the black vote in over 50 years.
Right.
Why is that? What I'm hoping is that there's a bit of an awakening going on. Again, I've said it, whether it was on this show or talking to you. What is the appeal of democratic rule, of democratic power in the
Right.
White House? What benefit do you gain? Anybody out there? Charlie told you our freaking email. It's theconstitutionalist71@gmail.com. If you happen to be listening and you're a Democrat, I would love, and this is not a slam, I'm not looking for an argument, I am genuinely curious. What would cause you, and I don't want to hear because you don't want to vote for Trump, if you are 100% in love with Biden and his policies, I would really love to know why.
Which one, especially? Is it the high gas prices?
Yeah.
Is it the inability to afford most things in the grocery stores?
Right.
A home? Is it the wide open borders that have been
that's
allowing?
attractive.
God,
Jesus.
I want to know which one. I'm curious.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know, man. Or just the policy changes. Like, when we talked about it, trans people, whatever. Look, I'm going to be 100% upfront and honest. I really don't care. You had dudes dressing as women and women dressing as dudes for millennia.
Yeah,
you know?
I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Exactly. You know?
Great, yeah.
And I don't care. I don't care that they do that. Like many things, I'm an American, right? I want to make my own mind up about. I don't want stuff shoved in my face. I can't watch a Hulu show without a commercial being about two dudes locking lips over an AIDS drug, or trans people with Martha Stewart happily applying makeup on. It's in your face, and now you got the ancient one making policy, forcing you to you will accept this or else.
Yeah.
You know what? Part of being an American, I don't have to accept shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, of course, that's within reason. I wished I didn't have to pay taxes, but I have to, But so I already know the things that I have no control over, but I'm damn sure not going to give up the things that I can control.
Right.
And
it's a slap in the face to the real civil rights movement.
Of course it is.
I mean, when you think about what they had to go through, assholes with fire hoses hosing these poor people down, trying to make a point. Martin Luther King Jr., the real
Medgar Evans.
The real
Evers.
activists, the real people out there, and
Rosa Parks. Yeah, you can just name
all that for
right
when it was really needed, and the change actually happened because they're human beings, and they needed those rights, and they got, and it makes stuff today. It's a sham. Like I said, it's just whichever way the wind blows, where you can catch a few more votes in the air like leaves in fall.
You're right.
That's what they're doing, and they don't. And at the end of the day, they don't give a damn about any.
They don't
one
care.
Of them.
You're absolutely right. You can name dozens of different examples of this, but what you said is just right on point. They don't care.
Yeah.
Once they have what they want from you, you're kicked to the curb.
Yeah.
It's like a crappy boyfriend. You're worthless until another 4 years.
Can you imagine being one night standed by Biden?
Ew.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you sniffed my hair and then kicked me to the curb.
Yep. It's time for my nap.
I know. I don't know, man.
Yeah. That's what it is, though. It's a hit and run.
It is. It is. And like I said, and this is probably a bit of a lame comparison, and I already know that before I say it, but I always laugh. We just went through daylight savings times, right? And I always laugh. It's you don't hear a damn thing about daylight savings time the whole rest of the year, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes up, without fail, the politicians start talking about it. That's because the majority of the people in this country think daylight savings time is stupid and unnecessary. But they will not take it off the books for some reason.
Right.
Gotta have it. But they're not just going to tell you, we don't give a damn what you say. Daylight savings time is here to stay, you know?
Yep. Did you mean to rhyme?
No, but that was
awesome,
cool.
yeah.
So I feel like I'm in a protest. But I don't know, man. So all I'm saying is it's lip service, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's when it comes around, you're going to hear, and I heard it. They had Fox News representatives saying, "Look, we really need to take a hard look at this daylight savings.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. We hear about it all year long from constituents." And then, as soon as daylight savings time is over and the time changes, they go on about their business, and they don't give a damn how much time.
Both sides are guilty of it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah,
Both sides are guilty of it, but I can't. The comparison, there is no comparison.
There isn't.
Whereas the Republicans might let us down on some things, but these are people's lives that they're messing with. Like they're using the trans people, they're using the gay people. You know, they're using people of color and all this equity and stuff, and they don't give two shits.
They don't, and it becomes once again hypocrisy, because it's kind of like them screaming down that they don't, walls are ineffective, right, on the border. But if you go to their house, they got walls all around, Guns should not be in the hands of people, but you go to their house and they've got armed security all around.
Yeah.
This is, to me, not really that much different.
Yeah.
You have trans people that are there for one reason. Oh, come on, trans... We need to be inclusive. And then once that election year is gone, they're done. You know what I mean? They're not.
And here's the great example. You've got a bunch of grown men and women in politics that, until they realized they could get a free vote out of it, they said marriage was between a man and a woman.
Yeah,
right? All of them.
Absolutely.
On the, they have no. Then all of a sudden they just change their mind. Magically, all of these Democrats just one.
And we're not supposed to notice.
Right. However, that's to me that's blatant. That's blatant so-called mind changing for a vote. Whereas all these kids at the college campuses with all this anti-Israeli nonsense, they're young and dumb, and they're going to grow up and realize, you know what? Hey, I was wrong back then. I don't feel. Hopefully, most of them will.
Yeah.
Where that's the difference. You've got young and dumb versus you should know damn better, and somehow you're still pulling the wool over these poor people's eyes, and it's sad.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think they are waking up.
I hope so.
You're seeing it in the polls. I mean,
that's what the polls show.
Yeah.
And now look, you know as well as I do that Biden, he's all about the polls. He'll if there is something that is to his favor, he's look at the polls.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Jack? You looking at the polls?
Yeah.
You're not reading the polls.
You're a blind dog-faced pony, so.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Peter Ducey, look at the polls.
Right.
So then the polls come out, and he's like, you believe every poll that you're looking at the wrong polls.
Right.
That's what he told the reporters, So he denies that Trump is beating him in 5 out of the 6 battleground states.
Right.
He denies that the black vote and Hispanic vote is overwhelmingly going to Trump as opposed to himself. And one reporter incredulously asked, "Are you saying that you don't believe the numbers in these polls?" And that's what he said. "I'm telling you, you're not looking at the right polls."
Oh, yeah.
So keep looking, and when there's a poll that's in my favor, that's the one.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It's
whatever, man. The freaking North Pole.
I'll tell you what, getting back to the debates, though, old Ramaswamy, he's fun to watch.
He is, man.
I mean, like I said, I don't whether you like him or you don't. I know there's some people out there don't quite trust him. There's been some weirdness in his early years, and the whole Soros money for going to college, and whatnot, and kind of denying it at first and all that stuff. And he's made his money in pharmaceuticals and all that. I get that,
tech,
but
whatever,
it's still when he starts on his rampage. And I will say, I got to give him credit. I loved what he said about Ukraine. Mm-hmm. and how full of shit they are.
Yeah.
How that president is full of crap. It's a whole corrupt country. It's been corrupt forever. Yeah. It is a damn sham what is going on with that. Now, did you hear about Congress threatening to hold Ukraine war funding until some action is taken on the border that they see fit?
Oh, the speaker is saying this?
Yeah, like they're like,
really?
Yeah, Congress is threatening to withhold money. Like, okay,
no, I did not hear
we'll
that.
Put something together, but we're going to fix our own borders first.
Yeah,
so I haven't seen the latest on it yet. I need to go look at that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I
wonder what Chuck Schumer thought when he heard that.
What's his favorite thing to say? It's I can't remember how he puts it, but basically it's a non-starter. Wait, let me pull my glasses down a little further. It's a non-starter.
God, I wish my nose was longer so I could just put them down.
Yeah,
just a tad.
I'm just gonna hang them on my chin. Now I can't see. Yeah, but
That's been your problem for a long time, Chuck.
Yeah, they're losing their damn. I mean, I love it. They're losing their damn minds on it. But it was fun to watch those debates and
right.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I really don't trust a damn one of them.
Hell no.
And this is me just speaking personally. Trump is still the only one that I trust. Nikki, I think she's full of crap too. Mm-hmm. I bet you.
Look, I like a lot of them people up there. I really do, except for Christie. That fat shit can just roll away.
Oh yeah,
I can't stand him.
He's a damn joke.
Yeah,
he knows
is.
It. He's just trying to stay
he's stirring.
relevant.
Exactly. Yeah. So besides him, though, everybody else is. Look, you can say what you want, and the knives are going to be out against them, amongst themselves, and against Trump. But the second, and I know this, the second that Trump is named the nominee,
you're probably going to have some of those people in his cabinet.
Well, yeah, they're going to want to. Whether or not he takes them will be one thing. Anyway, they're going to get in line, or at least that's the hope, unless they all turn into rhinos overnight.
Everyone but Christie.
Well, like I said, he
cry
can,
at the donut shop.
Exactly. Go roll somewhere, dude. So again, they can hopefully come together. But the problem is, if it's not Trump that is elected, like you pointed out, how you don't really trust him.
Right.
And I agree with that. The thing is that there has never been anyone like Trump.
Yeah.
And all of those, even the ones I supported as Republicans before, they all fall short now. And I feel like my eyes have been open, and I have been just sort of conditioned to, let's hear what George Bush, how he's going to do. Okay, I'm going to vote for him. When really it's just the same old,
Right.
But Trump is the only one who is strikingly different. The man who wasn't a politician, the man who came into this office as a self-made person who wasn't looking for anything, wasn't in anybody's pockets.
Nope.
Didn't have any lobbyists that he had to worry about. He came in with this plan to make America great again because he felt, and I know that's become a bad word, but MAGA, but he felt...
I love it.
I love it too. But he felt that the country was severely lacking.
Yeah.
And that he could do something about it.
That's exactly what he said he was going to do years ago if he
and
felt
by
the need
God,
to.
he did.
Yeah.
And so I think in his tenure, even before when he was on the when he was on the stump telling people, stumping for his position, jockeying. And I'm listening to him and I'm like, this is different. This is a little different. And then when he cinched the nomination, I was never happier to vote for someone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I think that these guys clamoring to one another, just beating the crap out of one another, I don't care about any of them. I understand that, like Ramaswamy, he's got great ideas and stuff, and I like the way he talks too. Look, you can say what you want about Ron DeSantis, but he was really and is really good for Florida. And absolutely. I think he would, in his one day, he will be a great president.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's now. Not when Trump.
Not his time, yeah.
When Trump is running, they need to back the hell off.
Yeah.
And I pray to God that's exactly what happens. I already know that. I just feel strongly he's going to be the Republican nominee, his Trump.
Oh yeah.
And I just pray that the cheating can be pushed at bay, can be monitored, can be stopped this time. And we get our guy in there and get for at least 4 years where he can do what he can to set us back on the right track. And then a DeSantis or a Haley or anybody else but Christie can kind of keep that train chugging,
and
is what I
pray.
pray.
Is I'm hoping this time, he doesn't pick another Pence. Pick some. I don't know. I hope he picks someone that's,
I wouldn't mind
another populist.
Yeah,
something like that. Haley, I'm like again. I got Ramaswamy said. I like what he said. He's like watch it because you're going to have another. Dick Cheney in heels up there. I mean, she sits on the board of Raytheon. She sits on the board of Boeing. A lot of things that of course. What was Cheney? He was on with that other arms company.
Yeah, Honeywell.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
KBR.
Yeah. So
Kellogg Brown and.
I mean, just in a. I don't know. Go for that last 4 years and set up that VP to follow in your footsteps.
That's exactly
with the exact
right.
same thing.
And to be quite honest,
Pence was a letdown. Pence to me, he's a piece of shit.
Yep. I'll tell you when I think about, and I've always thought this
that too because he's no longer in the race.
Before DeSantis, you're right. And before DeSantis announced his run for the presidency, I was sitting there thinking, now that would be a good team. I would love to see Trump as president,
I would have too,
and DeSantis as a running mate. Together, I think those two, and I still think maybe this will be one of those things where the hatchets are buried. And
what if he messed up though and introduced his vice president as Vice President de Sanctimonious?
If he did, I don't think it would be a mess up. I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
I still think it's
yeah, exactly. Anyway, so speaking of Trump, real quick. How about this crazy-ass judge that's overseeing his kangaroo court?
Oh, man.
So, of course, we're talking of none other than Candy Corn Tooth, Judge Arthur F. I wonder what that stands for. Engeron.
Right.
The judge, of course, for the Trump trial that's going on in Manhattan. I think the guy's unhinged, myself. And you have no further look at, if you've been watching this... From the get-go, you got this dude from the very first day, just that excited smile and wave that he did to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was...
Couldn't wait.
The cameras were rolling for the latest sitcom or something.
Right.
He's imposes this gag order on Trump, as well as his attorneys, for simply criticizing his staff. To me, that's a First Amendment issue.
Oh, absolutely.
I could see normally gag orders so you don't talk about things having to do with the case.
Right.
It's
going to influence the jury.
The jury, which is non-existent.
Yeah, you're right.
So you have a gag order. But to gag order someone because they're not happy with your court staff, and then he's already fined him a total of, $15,000?
Yeah.
10 one time, 5 another? Of course, what is that, like $1.50 for Trump?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
he needs to put a gag order on his damn shirtless pictures. I don't want to see
Oh, my God,
shit.
you're not lying.
What the hell is that about?
It's disgusting.
RFK looks better than you, dude.
RFK is ripped.
Yeah.
You know who else is ripped? Biden's brother.
Yeah.
If that picture was real, I don't know.
That was him.
That dude is freaking stacked.
Well, I mean, you got to compete with a bunch of other willing participants. So
outrunning the law all the time, you're bound to be in shape. All right. So yeah, old Trump was fined twice by this crazy man, and he started out. That's and look, I'm not a lawyer. I know already I'm not the most schooled person when it comes to law, but how is it that you can have a trial, right, and there is no jury, and before the first day of the trial, the judge already says he's guilty?
Yeah.
What is this trial for? That is all of our tax money going to this.
I mean, even the whole reason why they're sitting in it. I mean, obviously it's bogus, but is he? I mean, I don't know where does he get the certification as a judge to know what the dollar amount of
That's what I was just going to talk about. Yeah, and of course Trump claims he heavily undervalued Mar-a-Lago, right?
Right.
So I think he put like a $15 to $18 million price tag on it.
Yeah, something absurd.
Yeah, and Trump's like, this is beachfront Florida property.
Like there's ones
And
next to them with
there's
less
a golf
acres.
course on it. There's
Yeah,
I don't know how many acres it is.
it's quite a bit. It's
Yeah, and it's in prime location, and he's going to. I don't know. It's again, Trump of course gets pissed off, and then he turns around and tells the defendant in this case that I don't want to hear what he has to say. Now Trump is he's not yelling out in from sitting beside his lawyer. He's not out of order.
right.
He's on the stand testifying.
Exactly.
And the judge is looking at the guy who happens to be the defendant, who happens to be up in the little freaking podium up there testifying.
Yep.
And then you have a judge that looks at that person and says, I don't want to hear what you have to say. What the hell is going on?
Once again, it's the left painting themselves in a corner because it's I think he'd be doing well anyways, and he'd be in the lead regardless. But it damn sure isn't hurting his numbers out there.
Well,
people are seeing this.
I get it, but and you're right. But aside from all of that, I cannot help. Why isn't someone stepping in to stop this? Why? Yeah, but you can't have. There's got to be some sort of rules or something in place for a whacked out judge that is not carrying out his responsibilities.
You would think so.
So in saying that, and I don't know if this will go anywhere, but Representative Elise Stefanik filed an ethics complaint, and I believe that was today, against this judge and citing his bizarre behavior. Right. Now, I don't know what a representative filing an ethics complaint against a trial going on in Manhattan does. I don't know if she's just looking to have a wider turning of the heads, to see. I don't know how much wider you need. Everybody knows what the hell's going on.
Oh, yeah.
But if this was a normal, we can say, oh, God, it sucks that Trump is in there having to put up with this crap. But yet, at the same time, it was a normal trial going on. But when you have this guy this unhinged saying all these crazy-ass things, I don't know how that's not allowed. I don't know how whatever the court system is above that guy, how it isn't just immediately declared a mistrial, and then you either say the hell with this or get another judge and start all over.
Yeah, and again,
it's just ridiculous. I don't understand it.
I'm not a law scholar either. I mean,
right.
I know that this is a civil trial. The problem is the real estate where this is taking place is all part of the plan. It is New York.
Right.
So they damn sure wouldn't want that trial to be held in Florida because there's a chance of more conservative-leaning judges there.
Right.
So, yeah, unfortunately, the nature has to take its course, so to speak, in the judicial eyes, and that trial must go to its end. Then at that point, they can of course appeal until it goes all the way to the Supreme Court. But this was all.
I've never seen anything like this.
Oh yeah, this was all planned early on to make sure, And again, I think at the end of the day, if they can get some convictions out of it, they're gonna be high-fiving each other and hugging and smelling hair, all that good stuff. But at the very least, it will keep that man so tied up in litigation,
that he can't be on the trail.
Even though he still managed to get a little rally in while the debates were going on. Weird enough, I could not find that on any channel. I'm sure it was somewhere. I'm just saying I couldn't find it.
Besides needing to testify, he doesn't even have to be there.
No,
is what they were saying.
Yeah.
Now I've been watching his attorney, the female. I can't think of her name right now. She's got kind of an odd name, but Haba or something like that. But anyway, I've been watching her news conferences on the steps of the courthouse.
Right.
And man, she's not been holding back. She's been laying it on them. And she brought up a good point, though. She was talking about how the attorney general there, Letitia, the one who brought all these charges up on him, how she's in court every single day. She's got a seat there, and they're like, that's highly unusual that the attorney general, once bringing charges to an individual, they go on about their business. They let the court decide what's...
DA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's there every single day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think with the exception of one day, which it might have been today, that she was absent. That's what the Trump attorney was saying was, what about the rest of the crap going on in New York that you're responsible for?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You're in court. Who's battling this outrageous crime going on, you know,
Yeah.
and homeless all over the place. But anyway, they don't give a damn about any of that. That
No,
is,
of course not.
yeah, again.
That's not what she ran on.
Yeah. Dude, my favorite was when his attorney was on the steps and she said, Letitia James stood where I'm standing right now at this podium, looked at the camera and said the numbers don't lie
Yeah.
when it comes to Trump's valuation of his assets. She goes, well, Miss James, the numbers didn't lie when you were running for governor either. So, yeah, that was funny.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you've got anything to add with that or if you're good with, you know.
Again, like I said, I think it's obviously it's a sham. It's one of many now. This is just this trial.
Right.
We
Right.
haven't even gotten to their bread and butter, which is the ridiculous. I wonder how that's going to play out. The ridiculous confidential files that he had every legal right to take with him.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I don't understand how that judge wasn't like, wait a minute, okay, let me go over this one time. We're talking about President Donald Trump taking what was classified files until he merely just utters the words to a fairy in the corner that doesn't exist floating there and says, these are now not confidential. Boom. It's done. That's all he has to do is declassify them.
Yeah.
I don't see how they didn't throw that out just by that,
Yeah.
And I believe
I know why, but yeah.
well, but I think I'm not mistaken, but I don't think that's a whack job liberal judge either. I think she's, moderate at best.
Yeah.
So, or at worst, I guess I should say.
Right.
But anyway, at the end of the day, we'll see what I don't know. I don't think it looks too good, especially if he's the judge and executioner and all this stuff.
I don't think so either. And I will just say that when you're shouting down not just any old defendant off the street, but the 45th president of the United States.
Oh yeah.
There is a certain air of respect that goes along there, and I with anyone that addresses the man, and that will one day go for. It's hard for me to say it, but it'll go for Biden too. Yeah. If he's ever brought up on charges for all the crime crap that's going on in his world.
That's another door they have opened now.
Right.
That's a whirlwind.
But this judge I just think he's extremely disrespectful.
Oh, absolutely.
To the guy.
They all are.
Yeah, and again, I just don't. He's the 45th president of the United States.
Yeah.
He's there on trial. Everybody gets that. But look, Judge, you do have to hear what your defendant has to say.
Yeah. Especially when he's on the damn witness stand.
That's what I'm screaming, Yeah, so anyway.
There's no class.
There isn't. It's just a bunch of crazy-ass people and trying every day to force it on you like, I guess this is the new normal. Well, screw that. Don't accept it out there. Don't accept the new normal.
No.
Stick to your guns, literally. The last thing I want to talk about today is by the time you guys hear this, Veterans Day will have been the day before yesterday. And I want to talk a little bit about Veterans Day. I've said it before. You guys know that I'm a veteran. Charlie 556 here is a veteran. Our father was a veteran. Brother-in-law, veteran. And we're retired veteran. My dad was too. We've got a lot of military history in our family.
Dating back to the Revolution.
That's right. So, on this day, that again has already taken place, Veterans Day, President Woodrow Wilson established it in 1919 as Armistice Day. It signified the first anniversary of the end of World War I. Congress passed a resolution in 1926 for an annual observance, and it became a national holiday in 1938. Now, for me, I have been all around the world probably twice, and it seems like I pass myself doing it, you know. Lands far away, shitholes, if you will, some of them not. A few battles, a few combat zones. When you do all that, for a lot of people, I think I came out okay with all of the crap that was going on. But there's a lot of our brothers and sisters in arms who do not come out okay. I just want to talk a little bit about veteran suicide. Vets are 1.5 times more likely to take their own life. Everybody hears the 22 a day as far as veteran suicides. There are a lot of estimations out there that say that that number may be a lot higher than that. A shame in both instances. There's many factors that might lead a veteran to believe that the only way to find peace is to end their life. Some of those might be PTSD or TBI, brain injury, right? Traumatic brain injury. Mm-hmm. Some of them might have a lot of trouble reintegrating back into society after a career or a stint. Some of them might be carrying a lot of guilt with the stuff that they've seen and what they had to do in the course of their duties. I know it was like that for me when I saw certain things. Substance abuse oftentimes plays a huge part of it. Whatever it is, I would just say to you, whether you are a veteran who is struggling or a friend of a veteran that you may or may not have even served in the military, that's okay. I would just say that, and look, this goes for anybody that would have suicidal thoughts, whether they're in or out of a uniform. But this right here has to do with our veterans, because this is the day. And I would just say, try to connect with your military veterans that you care about and that you know. Something that could very well help and make a huge difference is to sit there and share experiences and compare notes and let them do a lot of talking. You support each other. It's a travesty what's going on. I've heard stories about veterans that have, tried to get assistance from the less than stellar, lackluster VA in many instances, and they're either put on massively long waiting lists or denied services for one reason or another, and they take their own lives right there in the parking lot. That's happened more than once. I myself have been the friend of a handful of people that decided to do that. It wasn't outside of military service either. It was in both instances while wearing a uniform. And it's sad, it is heartbreaking, it is heart-wrenching. But I just want to let you know out there, if you're a veteran, if you're struggling, there is help out there. You need to get a hold of someone, speak to them. I want to share with you the Veteran Suicide Hotline, which is simply dialing 988 on your phone and pressing the number 1. You can text 838-255, or you can go to the Veterans Crisis Line website, which is www.veterancrisisline.net, and you can chat live to someone who can absolutely help you. The most important takeaway is for you all to know that you're not alone out there. There are many, many of us who wore the uniform, many of us that still do. There is a ton of support out there. Do not try to fight your demons alone. You are loved, you are cared about, you are honored. We thank each and every one of you for answering the call. And you don't have to do any of this alone.
Exactly. So, you didn't have to fight the battles overseas alone. You don't have to fight them here at home alone either.
That's right. You don't have to fight the battles in your mind alone. So, anyway, I guess that about wraps it up, man. It's been I want to take this moment to say, Charlie 556, who happens to be my flesh and blood brother, that I wish you a very happy Veterans Day, and I thank you for your service.
And you as well, brother. Happy Veterans Day, and I appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you, sir.
And all you veterans.
Yes, we love each and every one of you. We know the sacrifice. Just keep them close, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your vets close. Keep an eye on them, especially with the holidays coming up.
That's right.
All right. Short of that, what do we got to talk about?
Man, I'll just say like I always do. Stay frosty out there. Big happy Veterans Day. Belated by the time this gets out.
Absolutely.
Love each and every one of y'all.
Before we head out,
Yeah.
I just want to throw out there, we're pretty new, so a lot of you just may not even notice, but there may or may not be an episode, not this Monday, but the next. I'm going to be out of town for a while, and I'll be getting here, but it might be a little too close to having to find a time to record another one. If not, we'll either record it late, like maybe it'll drop on a Tuesday or Wednesday, or we'll just wait till the following Monday. Or really, one way or the other, we'll
do
be
it
back.
live.
Do it live. All right. That's for you, Bill O'Reilly. Anyway,
cool.
All right, we're going to roll out. We love you. Again, look out for one another. Keep the powder dry.
Oh.
We'll see you next time.
See you, kids.